Okay, so we're gonna start with our base coat. What we're gonna do different here is we're going to mix our colors directly on the panel here. We're gonna just dump about half of this base coat white. I'm gonna put a little bit of the phthalo green right here in this upper corner here. The key is just get a little bit on the brush, not a lot, and start mixing to your desired intensity. Gonna get a little bit more in there. Then I'm gonna warm it up with a little bit of raw umber right here. Give it a nice earthy tone to it. Add a little bit more phthalo green, get a little richer. A little bit more. I think we're getting there, we're getting really close. If I want to make this just a hair greener, just add a dab of yellow. This should really pop this color. Yeah, there we go. Base coat works really well as a finish coat and like a gesso. It's on there pretty thick and you pretty much get the whole coverage done in one coat. We're gonna go back and accent this later on. I'm gonna paint the sides. And so on the Van Gogh painting, it's like a still life. It's a very simple still life, like this is a table. And this is where the deep, dark mustard yellow is. So we're gonna have to clean this off. Pull the excess water out. There's a little green in there, but it's not gonna matter. It's just a tiny bit. We're gonna make a little bit of that mustard yellow. Basically, we're gonna add a little bit of alizarin crimson, give it some reddish tone to it. Just a little bit of umber, a little bit of alizarin. We're gonna cross over this line and fill that. And again, this area too, we're gonna paint over later. We're gonna accent this area with some textures and colors, but this is the foundational color. Didn't quite make enough there. And so that's pretty much the foundation there. Now we're gonna do the vase. Very simple kind of ovally vase. It has like a point to it. Draw it out on here. Doesn't matter if it's better to start a little small, then you kind of build out around it and see once you get your shape. I'm gonna go out a little further. We're gonna pipe out probably about half the bag, or a little more than half of the titanium white heavy texture. And this is gonna be our yellow foundation. So we're gonna do the yellow in a couple ways. We're gonna tint the white with the Hansa yellow here. A little bit of that raw umber got in there because it gives it a nice earthy tone to it. But don't get too much of it in there. I squeezed out about a third of the tube, maybe a quarter of the tube there, for us to just start working this blend here. Just keep blending until we get a nice tone of yellow. I think we're getting close. We're gonna do layers of darker and warmer yellows over the top, and that way it'll show contrast. So we have the yellow here. And we're gonna use this pile of yellow with this right here. So we're gonna add a little alizarin crimson here. We have some raw umber, just a tiny, tiny bit here. And we're gonna take about half of this pile of yellow and make it kind of a very warm orangey yellow. Just a tiny bit in there. You gotta be very careful and not put too much in there. See, now we have a nice warm yellow. And now we have a nice bright Hansa yellow just as it comes out of the tube there. So now we have three yellows. We've got the Hansa, the warm yellow with the alizarin crimson, and we have our base yellow. So this is the next part right here we gotta figure out here. So this is about how we use the knife. And this is how we function pretty much all the way through with the knife. This is how you hold the knife, by the way. my thumb here and my 2 fingers here. It allows me to flex this knife all around just like this. So it's a good practice to take your pile of paint and keep it in a nice tight pile. And just practice kind of troweling over it and smoothing it over. And you can see here the angle of the knife as I'm pushing over. If it was down, I don't want to go in. So it's almost like thinking like a plow and just plowing over it. It's like this. And you need to practice that movement before you start mixing your yellowing. And I'll show you why. Because when you get the knife filled with paint, you want it on there as perfect as possible. And this is a key part to the way I paint with texture paint. See this right here? It's a nice smooth dollop of paint right here. And we're gonna just repeat this step. This petal, pull back. What I'm doing here is I'm putting it on there, I'm barely pressing it. Like you can see there, that's about how much pressure, just the weight of that. And then I'm pulling back. And then I'm pulling back. And then I'm pulling back. You just keep doing that over and over. Sometimes clear your knife off, get a fresh bit of the yellow acrylic color there. Glide it across the top, put it on the panel and pull it back. Just keep doing it. Add a little bit more raw umber, it's getting a little light there. And a nice big old fat dollop in there. And I'm just gonna plop that in, because why not? I need those petals that are gonna swoop over the side. Clean off that brown, they're gonna swoop up. Pull up there just gave that a really dynamic look there. We're gonna keep this far away so we don't overdo it. We're gonna keep the phthalo green far away because we only want to pull a little bit out over here and start to turn this green. This is a very bright green. We're gonna pull some of this brown over here to earth out this green a little bit. Make it a little darker. Bit more alizarin. See, I keep going a little at a time because I don't want to overdo it. A little bit more alizarin. Making a very, very warm green. A nice chartreuse there now. Now I can add a little bit more phthalo, darken it up a little bit. This is just throttling back and forth so you don't go overboard with the color and get it wrong. Okay, take some of that color and mix it into the white. Okay, so on this part here, it's like a big green bulb with just the center in there. And so it has the flower petals on the bottom, so I'm gonna do first, and then I'm gonna put the brown center in, and then do petals over the top, kind of like we did right there. So, it's kind of what we did before, you know, with the green, with the yellow. Practice that. Nice stroke right here. This kind of spreads through here. And we're gonna just put that on there. I'm gonna do that like 3 or 4 times. Nice thick dollops on this one. So right here, I'm just sliding under. That's the good thing about the knife. I can kind of slide under things right there. And it's okay if it picks up other colors because it gives it a very natural look. And I'm not gonna do this too thick because I want the texture of the flowers to really stand out. I don't want the texture of the background to steal the thunder of the flowers. So I'm gonna hit the same texture on the sides. Okay, so we're almost done. On this line transition here between the wall and the table, or the background and the table, there's a dark line. I'm gonna use this alizarin crimson here And I only wanted just the edge of the knife to hit it. Make a nice hairline there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull. I think just for fun, extra credit, don't have to do this. Just a little bit of that down on the bottom there to give it some color. I'm gonna give it a little bit of, just some contrast there. You don't need to do that part. But there you have it. There's your sunflower painted by Van Gogh, or by you. So
like I'm gonna
like
fill
that
this whole
thing
thing
about
here.
working.
It's not gonna be this wide,
bags.
but
Here we go. Add a little bit more. Do a smaller one. Like
so this
there.
is kind of an abstract
Right here.
swirl effect.
It's gonna make this nice little dome one right here.